1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that Triple H.
And we are live!
Hello and welcome to your episodic wrestling podcast. 1, 2, is this on? And your host this episode, as always, to my right, we have the 1, 2, 3, Fredo! Oh! A silent boy.
I like doing quite regular now, don't I? It's like a gimmick, should we say?
Stick with it, Mark.
To my left, we've got Big Dean 360.
It's the Big Dean 316. How we doing, man? You alright?
I'm champion. I'm really good.
Good to hear. Right, we've changed this episode up a little bit after the sad news that Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon, has passed away after complications with hip surgery, wasn't it?
Hip surgery.
So we decided we've scrapped what we originally thought we were going to do, and we're going to do a Razor themed episode in tribute to the bad guy.
The bad guy, Scott Hall.
So, let's just have a little bit of talk about the little legend that he was.
A legend that he was indeed.
I'm even wearing my t-shirt. Right, I haven't got a Razor t-shirt, but it's got the NWO on it, and it's got the main man right there, next to Tezza and Big Kev. For me, he was one of the best characters ever, I think.
As Razor Ramon.
As Razor, totally ahead of his time.
Hey yo.
I mean, his vignettes were class. And if you think what was knocking about at that time when that character came out, it wasn't long after characters like barbarians and warlords, clowns, mounties, Rico men, head shrinkers, to have sort of like a real life character like that. Well, it wasn't real life, but
He was like a sort of gangster, but like Sopranos, Tony Montana.
sort of thing. It was just really was ahead of the game,
Yeah.
I think. Like,
And not just that though, his wrestling ability was really, really good. I really liked Razor Ramon. I really liked his the Razor's Edge. I mean, I think we used to try that many a time in the grassy mountain.
hard one to do, the Razor
In the swimming pools and stuff like that. But he was really, like you say, he's the character. He just oozed charisma.
Aye, machismo.
Oozed charisma, and like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand like the type of wrestlers we like, as in Shawn Michaels and Triple H, X-Pac,
He likes X-Pac.
should we say the Click. So
The Click,
this one was like, I was shocked because he sorted himself out.
Aye.
He went and like DDP. I love DDP. Like he deserves loads of credit for what he does for people. With Jake Roberts and Scott Hall and what he done, and like, what was it the documentary on? And it showed him going in and Jake going in, and it showed him in the wheelchair and then picking him up from the airport. What was that again?
I can't remember what it
Was
was.
that the resurrection of Jake the Snake?
That was it. It was following Jake the Snake,
Yeah.
and he brung in Scott Hall at the same time.
Yeah. We need to watch it. And he was in a real bad way.
Couldn't walk.
Aye.
Bottle of vodka a day, wasn't he? At least.
Aye.
I was saying, I got wheeled in.
Yeah.
Just looked a right mess.
Aye.
He did see him, fixed him, really did. I think if you had said back then, I mean, that would have been at least 10, 15 years ago that he passed away, you would have thought, okay.
Yeah.
But he had pulled himself around to the point
Looked
where
good shape. He got himself in good shape. He
Good
didn't,
neck.
like, you know what I mean? And he, like, obviously the Hall of Fame.
got him walking again. That's how bad he was.
Oh, it's aye.
DDP got him walking again.
Aye.
That was the achievement.
Yeah.
He couldn't walk, man.
No.
That's a bad state to be in. So to bring him back from there, and the nick that he was in at the Hall of Fame when he got
When he got
inducted.
that was great. Aye, and the speech, it's like pure iconic. It's probably one of the best speeches at a Hall of Fame ceremony in regards where he says like the phrase "bad times don't what is it?
Bad times don't last,
but bad guys do."
Amazing, man.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. So it was sad, and I think like obviously like I think Twitter exploded in regards to like his peers and his people around him of how actually, you know, sad them were. But then everybody talked about how good he was.
Mm-hmm.
One of his names, can you remember him as the Diamond Stud?
I can.
The Diamond Stud. He was with DDP then. The two of them were together.
It was only after, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
I saw him. I don't think Razor Ramon was the first person that I saw him as. Did you know that DDP gave him the cocktail stick angle?
Did he really?
Aye. They were having a meal somewhere, and they were both at a steak. They both got it, and then
got the two pickles.
Aye, clever.
It is really clever.
Worked really well.
Yeah.
Chucking people's faces.
So it was class. It was class. But because he came in, he was a bad guy, wasn't he? He was really good, and then he was one of the ones that just ended up becoming like a good guy because he was just that good. Their matches that he had with Shawn Michaels, by the way, the first ever ladder match was unbelievable. Probably one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time.
Brilliant, absolutely class. I mean, look what he's done. He was 4 times Intercontinental Champ, first ever ladder match, 2-time Hall of Famer, in as Razor Ramon and with the NWO. Left the WWF with Kevin Nash to form the Outsiders. That had never been done before.
No.
Like, not the way they did it.
They did it really well.
To be fair, they nearly buried the WWF.
They did.
With the NWO angle.
The Outsiders crack was really good. Like, that was, like, again, ahead of their time. Like, how they done that. Like, you would never have thought somebody like Diesel, who did get a lot of stick for his mic skills. But when he became and was just able to do what he wanted to do, I think Big Daddy Cool, Kevin Nash, anyway, it was really good. The two of them were really good.
That's because they sort of pretended that they were free agents, and then they were just wrecking havoc. Really clever. And I mean, I didn't really watch WCW. I was always pro WWF to the point I was like, no, I'm not watching WCW, it's terrible. But when I caught up with it, and like the television wars, amazing, man, really good. And to be honest, if you put them side by side, WCW was head and shoulders better than WWF. You had a couple of wrestlers in WWF at the time, which would have been your Bretts, your Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, but apart from that, everything else WCW was doing off the back of that NWO angle,
class,
top class.
Totally.
Also, Razor Ramon, easily one of the best sells of a stunner.
Yes.
You know which one I mean?
Yes.
WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
Got it here.
That was really good.
On loop.
Class.
That's better than The Rock's. The Rock sold a good stunner. That's got to be one of the best.
That's what he was good at as well. He was good at doing like selling. He was good at selling, and he was good at. I mean, I seen a video of him in the ring where it was in WCW, where it was the Giant, Big Show, was pulling the ring down, and Scott Hall's in the ring, like he's trying to sell the fact that the ring's collapsing, and he's like, because the Giant, and it's like it's like great, you know, the little things, you know, that go a long way.
That nature is that, like Shawn Michaels, one of the best sellers. Dolph Ziggler, he sells really good.
Underrated, man.
Massively, he's totally underutilized.
Underrated. Good that he's NXT champion, but still. But no, and I'm going to say that Scott Hall was underrated.
He was. Well, I read up on something now, and according to what I read, it was a choice between him and Nash at the time, who was going to be
the new guy,
the WWF champion. So Kevin Nash got it purely because Vince McMahon liked the bigger wrestler. Razor Ramon was a big bloke, but Kevin Nash was a hell of a lot bigger. And he knew they came as a package, so they were mates backstage at that point. And he had to choose one or the other, and he went with Kevin Nash. What could have been like? he got the bigger push. Razor Ramon still got a big push,
Yeah.
but not pushed to the point where Kevin Nash.
Sad that, really.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Really sad.
It's a judgment call makes somebody's career
Aye.
when he should have been WWF champion.
Definitely should have been doing WWF champion.
I mean, the tributes that came in showed how well respected he was in the business. The likes of Hulk Hogan, Triple H, a very emotional one from Kevin Nash, and that was even before he passed away.
Yeah.
He sort of broke the news, really, didn't he? That he was on the health support. Also one from Jericho, which included the following. I'm not going to read the whole thing out, but it did have this in his tribute. He was by far the best pro wrestler I've ever seen to never hold a world title.
Yeah.
So he's saying he's the best ever to not. So that has got us thinking, who else, in our opinion, should have been champion?
Yeah. And we've said this for years about Scott Hall, about Razor Ramon, the best wrestler never to be a champion. We always mentioned that. We've had these little conversations, but we've said that about him, that he was one of the best wrestlers not to be champion, and it's fact.
He never even held the WCW belt.
No, I was just reading something before earlier on there. I'll get back to it, and he had one-time world champion as he held the WWC Universal Heavyweight Championship. So, but he didn't have
What company was that with?
the WWC. So it's World Wrestling Council.
Alright.
Whoever the hell them are.
Was that pre-WWF? Or was
Uh,
that post?
it might, you know what? It might have just been as he was. It's
After WCW movies.
it doesn't say. It hasn't got the year, but it's saying like he's never. But that's not. It's like not a major. It's not major promotion. It's not a major promotion. So he's been recognised as commentator as one of the most charismatic performers in modern wrestling history of professional wrestling, which is what we've just been speaking about. Although he never won a world championship in a major promotion, he didn't. So that's just obviously like
crazy, because you've got your IWGP, you've got your WCW, you've got your WWF. They're like the ones where you think, you've done something.
even TNA. He was in TNA for a while.
Even TNA.
He never got that. No,
It's a mental one, that thing.
it is crazy.
As a performer, you can't knock him, but it must be down to what he was like backstage.
I would love to get some feedback from you, the listeners and subscribers, about this, and like obviously what we're talking about now, and who we're going to go in depth more now about who the best wrestlers are, ours. To hear from yous, and that's what we want to hear from yourselves, because these topics are interesting, and I didn't even need to write mine down.
No?
No.
I had loads. So what we're going to do is, we know you love them. It's a top 5.
It's a top 5!
Aye. Right, okay then. So we are going to do our top 5 wrestlers who should, in our humble opinion, have been WWF champion or even WC. No, purely WWF champion. And then he got rid of one of the old picks there. And to clarify, we've already said Razor Ramon deserves, Scott Hall should have been WWF champ, so he is excluded from our top 5 picks. So, do you want to go first or second, Mr. 1, 2, 3?
I'll go first.
Go on then, I'm going to write these down.
No, in no particular order, is this?
No particular order, who are you going with? Who's your 5?
God. It's got to be the best one. That really should be one for me.
Can I just say it? Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. P.
Kurt Hennig.
By
By far. Very, very similar to Scott Hall. Oozed charisma. Technically brilliant wrestler. His character of Mr. Perfect was absolutely brilliant.
Superb.
He was just so good. He was just absolutely.
You know what I'm going to say here, and I think it affects a load, possibly majority of the ones that we've picked. There's a certain wrestler called Hulk Hogan who seemed to monopolise the WWF Championship.
Yeah.
And wrestlers of a certain build never got a sniff because this bloke was in the company.
So, so like when you look at it, like obviously because then that's how Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels obviously started getting their bit when he ended up going. So if Perfect was in and around then, he probably more than likely would have had it.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. That's what I think. Next.
The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
$1 Million Man.
You got him.
Yeah.
One of the best heels ever.
Ah, superb, man. Really, really was class.
Really class. Like class. Is growing up as a wrestling fan, he was definitely by far one of the best heels. We could do a top 5 heels.
Don't need to do that.
He was by far one of the best heels. He was, and not just that, he backed it up with his wrestling ability. I thought he was excellent. Very, should we say, Ric Flairish type.
He was. You could tell he was well thought of because if you look at the Royal Rumbles, and a lot of them he lasted.
For duration,
He was in there a long time. But he bought the belt, didn't he?
The $1 Million belt.
No, he bought the WWE
WWE belt.
Was it off Andre the Giant? He bought it off, but he was never actually champion. I agree on that one. Super.
Class. He was really good.
When he got the young lad up, man, to do 5 bounces of the basketball. You want to know $100?
Did we not watch that not long ago?
We did it in the Intercontinental top 5.
Yeah.
Yep. Carry on. This is pretty easy so far.
So far. Owen Hart.
He's not a name, but yeah.
Owen Hart. Again, he was around when Hogan left. He deserved a title shot.
It makes you think why he didn't.
Why didn't he? Yeah.
Maybe his character wasn't fully developed.
Him and Bret had some of the best fights. Like when they fought each other. As I don't think Bret was champion at that time. But there wasn't leather belts on the line, you know, and he used to beat Bret.
I did,
So why didn't he get the push?
Don't know. Very good point. Maybe
Because
there's only room for one Hart.
He was excellent though. He was a completely different Hart though. He was the heel. He was another good heel.
I was a good heel.
Like when he was the Rocket Owen Hart, it just didn't quite work for him. But then when he became Owen Hart, he became a heel. He was really good.
I've never thought why he did everything but tag,
Everything.
Slammies, Intercontinental,
European, everything. Said everything. He would have been a Grand Slam champion.
I don't know why I didn't think of him.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm shocked that he didn't have him.
I did try to go a little bit, little way, but he never entered my mind. Next.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Jake the Snake.
You got him?
Yeah. Never even won the Intercontinental Championship, man.
Did he not?
Nah.
We've had this discussion as well.
Never won it.
Discussion.
Shocking. Is he tarnished with Scott Hall's brush, maybe he's like to drink?
Yeah, and he did back then though, didn't he? Like really, he was quite public with it, I think.
But when it comes to promo, wasn't that amazing, man? Like,
another one.
Ahead of the game.
If
you think when it was a time of, oh, I'm going to break your neck, I'm going to slam you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to... He wasn't like that.
No, he was
slow, sinister.
Yeah.
Some of the best promos for the era, man. Easy.
Yeah, easy. He was class. Another one who had like a lot of charisma. And the Snake coming out and that, and he fought Macho, like his little feud with Macho, man. You know, he deserved it. He deserved it in the Continental belt, definitely. With all of it, yeah. Was
he maybe at that point thought of as a wrestler? He had the Snake, he had the gimmick, didn't need a belt. Maybe. But it's not good enough, really.
I think there comes like
career.
I think there comes a point where you've got to give them the belt. I mean, look at they give it to Drew McIntyre, and I'm not saying he's poor, Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that Drew McIntyre is poor, but at the same time, you've got all of these wrestlers who never got an opportunity, but they never used to hand the belt out like a merry-go-round, you know what I mean? It wasn't a case of, I'm going to give it yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that, really.
No.
Oh. But no.
Shocking, man.
Uh-huh.
And your last one?
I've got 2 on the list, but I'm going to go with this one. Roddy Piper.
Oh, Roddy.
You got him?
I did have him, and I removed him.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that he's another one. Good as a heel, good as a face. Crowd loved him.
Mm-hmm.
Real good entertainer, sports entertainer, wrestler.
You know what happened there though? Tezard, Hulk Hogan.
Aye,
Peak Hulk Hogan era was when he was going.
definitely.
One of the WrestleMania matches he had with Bret Hart was superb.
That was for, he won that fight, didn't he? For the Intercontinental.
With the roll up with the sleep that one.
Aye, that's right.
Did Bret not win it? Anyway, it was amazing.
Really good match.
He had good gimmick matches as well. Remember that one with Gold Dust in the parking lot.
Aye,
Crazy, but he could have carried the belt.
definitely.
But I think he's been Hogan.
Hogan.
Him, $1 Million Man. Hogan. Massively Hogan's. So that's yours. Well, I've got 3 the same. So I've got Mr. P, $1 Million Man, Jake the Snake. Right. My other 2 or Vader. I love Vader, mate. He's won every title everywhere apart from that.
The WWE title.
Never won the WWE belt. In Japan, he won that. WCW.
He's
He's been a Triple Crown heavyweight champion twice.
Are you sure he didn't win the belt?
No.
You don't have to look that one.
Definitely not. And next one, I knew he wouldn't have. Billy Regal.
William Regal.
His push before he failed that drug test when he was
Yes.
the power hungry GM
Aye,
was brilliant.
aye.
And according to the internet, he was going to win the belt eventually at the end of that storyline.
Uh-huh.
Never happened. Failed the drugs test for steroids, banned for 3 months. Storyline just
Class.
stopped.
He was class.
There was a main event. I've forgotten who the actual main event was, but it was for the title. And then Billy Regal just said, "Nah, sick of that," and cut all the power. You remember?
Aye.
The whole arena went black.
Aye.
And then he turned the lights back on and went, "Well, I'm running the show. The match has ended. Everybody leave."
He was
Excellent.
really good. He was really good, and he had the comedy effect as well. He was good entertainer. Class.
Great team. Technical wrestler, and I like old school brawler, a bit like they do with Sheamus. They're giving him all them sort of wrestlers, your Pete Dunne, another fella. I like that style, I like that and your high flyers. It's good to mix
Definitely.
them up.
So I've looked into that one.
Uh-huh.
You were right. He hasn't.
No, never did.
He hasn't. And he fought Shawn Michaels for the belt, and Shawn won.
Aye, that was at SummerSlam. Was it SummerSlam? Or was it Mania? It's one of the big pay-per-views anyway.
Have you SummerSlam yet?
SummerSlam. But he did end up on Baywatch.
Who? Vader.
You know.
Yeah. But I've got another one.
Go on in.
Rick Rude. Rick Rude has actually never won a belt.
Ooh, you know what? I never see him as
It's a top dollar.
I'd say IC was his pinnacle, like. Don't know. Maybe it was his gimmick.
He was
Great heel.
he was an over top entertainer who could even carry the Ultimate Warrior to a good match. They should have let him have a title run.
He deserved a title run for that alone because he was horrible to work with,
Aye.
as Triple H found out.
Yeah.
Here's another one then, since we've went quite quick. Bit more modern. Mr. Ass. Billy Gunn.
Right. Well, see, I had thought about him, right, and I get what you say. I think he's another massively underrated wrestler. He was a really good wrestler, and when he come away from the Smoking Guns, and he beefed out a bit, and he was really, really good. to the fact that like he got what he was. I think he was European. He was Intercontinental tag, and so only the WWE that he didn't win. So he did get a little bit of a push at times.
Remember when they started putting him in dress pants and they paid him up to China?
Uh-huh.
I thought he was going to go on to win it then.
Aye.
Didn't.
But
He didn't make the top 5, but I remember thinking at the time would be good. And one more, a lot more modern, Cesaro,
Cesaro, do you think he should have been a champ?
at least SmackDown champ.
Still time for him though. He could come back and
I think he'll leave me eventually.
He's left.
Fed up.
he's gone.
Has he?
He's gone. He's been gone for a while. Did you not know that?
Get out of town.
He's gone. Huh? He's 90 days and be up on next month. Sure. Cesaro's gone. They're expecting him to end up going with Billy Regal and be a part of that new faction that they're starting.
No way. I thought he was still on SmackDown.
No, he's gone. Gone.
Oh wait.
Toodle pip.
Gotta look after yourself, Cesaro. Good lad.
He's good, yeah.
Matt didn't like it for whatever reason. Right, who we got then? Bash this out. So differences, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, right. So I've got Vader and Billy Gunn.
No comparison.
Sorry, I've got Vader and Billy Gunn, and you've got Owen Hart and Roddy Piper.
Who said Billy Regal, did he?
Oh, sorry, it's just because I've written Billy down.
Billy Gunn was.
Billy Regal.
Billy Gunn was a thingy.
Billy Regal, sorry. You know who I think? I love Vader, like, but I think your own heart was a great shout, and I didn't even think of it.
Do you think, like, with Vader though, he really wasn't in the WWE very long, really, when you think about it?
It was in a while.
How long was he in for?
Definitely was there for
A couple of years.
A couple of years. Went and came back a couple of times.
He was good, like, he used to do the moonsault off the top rope for such a big guy. It was like
High flying,
really
big
good.
fella, man.
Class, it was really good, to be fair. Really good. He's dead now as well, isn't he? He was only there a year.
Was he?
Oh, no.
See, surely not.
My apologies. He was there from... So he was part of Camp Cornette from 1996 to 97.
Aye.
And then he had various feuds, and he left in 1988. 2 years.
Ooh, see, I only see him really as being peak when he was Camp Cornette. So was he only in Camp Cornette for a year, was he?
For a year. That's when he fought Shawn Michaels and that.
Aye.
He had, from 1997 to 98 when he left, he wrestled like the Patriot, like Bret Hart, Steve Blackman.
Aye, so he went from being like a top tier heel to being a heel.
To mid-card, yeah, and he done him, remember the Mask versus Mask match against Mankind, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was, because I see him like, you had him, you had Sid Vicious, you know, they were sort of all, Shawn Michaels was fighting them off. Didn't realise that was only for a year. But, I've got the ammo. I didn't do my research enough.
It's controversial, Dino. Controversial to the viewers as well, isn't it? I think I know who you'll be seeing.
I don't.
Roddy Piper. And who was the other one that I had that you... Owen Hart.
You've got Owen Hart.
There's no comparison really. How are you guys? How are you guys?
Right, definitely get your own heart, our Billy Regal. Vader, our Rowdy.
Why aye?
Vader's won heavyweight titles everywhere, man.
Everybody knows Roddy Piper.
Everybody knows Vader.
No, do you want us to ask Google? Who's the most popular wrestler?
What, is it?
Should I ask Google? Let's ask Google.
Who's more popular between Roddy Piper and Big Van Vader?
Who's more pop? Make sure I spell popular right. You know, it didn't stick in it, we would say. Who's more popular? Rowdy. How do you spell Rowdy? Rowdy. Yeah. Roddy. Piper.
Was that one?
Or Vader.
Just to list Vader's titles while Paul's doing that. He won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and the WCW World Heavyweight Championships 3 times each. Has Roddy Piper done that? No.
Google can't answer us.
The Triple Crown Heavyweight Championship. He has been Triple Crown Heavyweight Championship twice. He was WCW United States Heavyweight Champion once.
That was because he was big guy.
What's Rowdy done?
I'm going to tell you.
Have a look. Can he compete with Vader's CV there? I don't think so.
Roddy Piper fought at the first WrestleMania.
And
In the main event,
tag match that was.
he has... Where's his belts? Where's his achievements? Intercontinental belt
That it?
from 1989 to 1982. It's a long time that. We put him up with Intercontinentals, didn't we?
No, didn't mean it could.
Did he even win a belt in... where's his...
See, he's done out. He's done out. Great counter.
What a load of bullshit.
Which?
Sorry.
Think of the viewers.
Think of the viewers.
Sorry, viewers. Teen content.
Another
One
one
more three
died,
friends.
though.
It's doing anything
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
go. Oh, he was in loads of films. Like,
But that doesn't count. He's done nothing, has he? Nothing.
he has
War
had
killed. Is that what the
NWA
next one?
United States Heavyweight Championship, NWA World Tag Team Championship,
NWA, what's that?
NWA Atlantic Heavyweight Championship twice,
Sweet
NWA Television Championship twice, NWA WCW United States Heavyweight Championship 3 times. He was an NWA Canadian Tag Team Championship, Tag Team Champion with Rick Martel. He was NWA American Champion Heavyweight Championship 5 times. NWA America's Tag Team Championship 5 times. NWA Light Heavyweight Championship 1 time. NWA Pacific Northwest Heavyweight Championship 2 times. NWA Pacific Northwest Tag Team Champion 5 times.
So he's only really cut it in NWA.
Inspirational Wrestler of the Year 1982, Match of the Year 1985, Most Hated Wrestler of the Year 1984, 1985, Most Popular Wrestler of the Year 1986.
Do they still do that? No one pause that. Most hated wrestler of the year. Is that still an award? That's a good award. That's a hell of an award.
It is a good one. NWA World WCW World Class Champions, NWA American Tag Team Championship with the British Bulldog. WWF Intercontinental Champion. Who did he hold the Tag Team Championships with in the WWE? I did not know this. And he only held it once.
Hulk Hogan.
Wrong. You'll never get it.
Go on, just tell us.
Ric Flair.
Did he?
I don't know, I'm shocked. He's a WWE Hall of Famer, which Vader is just about to be.
Just about, oh yeah. I tell you what, Hall of Fame this year is looking good, mate.
How it is.
Taker, Sid Justice, Vader.
Oh, Sid in.
Aye. He's in this year.
Vader and who else was the tag team in it? The Steiners.
Aye, the Steiners are.
You got to see Big Pop Pump.
Big Bob. Oh, he'll go live and give a speech. That'll be entertaining.
Yeah.
Right.
So, who are we having?
I didn't want to budge on Vader. I think it should be Mr. P, Million Dollar Man, Jake the Snake, Owen Hart, Vader.
I'm not having it.
I'm gonna have to get the top jumpsuit. I'm gonna, yeah, man.
We're going to have to get the top trumps.
Oh, not
Did we
budging
do this
on
the
Vader.
last time with the top trumps?
I'm lost. I can't get the top trumps.
I think we should do get the top trumps. Or we just do rock, paper, scissors.
Nah, me got that. Top trumps it is.
Top trumps it is. But remember, you can get in touch with us to let us know, obviously, what your thoughts on it. Please do, because I know for a fine fact that yous will say
Vader.
Rowdy Piper.
Right, I am back with said top trumps. I've got two.
And though Roddy Piper, Hot Rod, he's got his own bronze statue in WWE for his contributions to wrestling. That's just got to say it. We don't need to do it, top trumps.
Alright, okay, he's got a statue. No, it ain't. No!
Whatever that.
Right, so I've got. Has he got a statue though?
I like.
That's impressive.
Do you
Do you have a picture?
I've got a picture. It's actually a really good statue.
It is good.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't trust us.
Hot rod, diggity dog. Why am I singing that for?
Right, so we've got wrestling top trumps, or we can spice it up and we have superhero and villains top trumps. You can choose.
Wrestling. It's
Stick
got to be
with
wrestling.
wrestling.
It's a wrestling podcast for God's sake.
Alright.
Right. It is a mug.
Shuffle. Mug lips.
Mug's lips.
Mug first.
We used to play top trumps all the time, didn't we? Remember when we were little? In the
Oh,
old.
I used to play that.
You had
Big fan of top
the
trumps.
Marvel. We had the Marvel ones, the Marvel bad guys, and Marvel ones.
Yeah?
You deal.
Is that it? Oh, it is. Sorry, that's just...
I done that.
I thought it was a spare one.
It's bronze Strowman. So you know that's always bronze Strowman.
Right.
We're just doing one card, like.
I just draw a card, didn't you? Cut the pack, you can go first since you... Rowdy's got a statue, so you can cut it first.
So I can go like that and then pick this
No, so like that's your card.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Right.
For God's
He's
sake.
been good. I got beat off Nicky Bella the last time, man.
That's right.
Go on in.
WWE debut, I'm guessing the later it is, the better.
No, so debut is the earlier the better.
Aye, 1985.
Ah, man!
Gold dust.
Ah.
Who did he have?
Dean Ambrose and he's absolutely crap.
You would have beat us on.
Would it? So I've
No,
got
you on
debut 2012, you won that one. Toughness 38.
42.
Sportsmanship 22.
11.
Oh, I beat you on that one. Strength 66.
63.
Oh, and top trumps rating 63.
65.
Oh, that's close. Well done. Done.
Hey!
So, go on and read the top 5 out then. You won again.
We've got, in no particular order, Mr. Perfect,
Big up Mr. P.
Owen Hart,
Alright.
Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yep.
Hot Rod, Rowdy Piper. And who's the other one there that I forgot about? Second one down?
Mr. P. $1 Million Man.
$1 Million Man.
I'm $1 Million Man.
Ted DiBiase.
Good top 5 in fair.
It is.
Naal should have won the belt.
Yeah.
Good frank discussion.
A
I
good
like it.
one.
I lost again.
Remember, let us know what your thoughts are. If we've missed anybody, give us a shout.
Let us know. Give us some comments. We love your feedback. Under our videos. You know what to do. Just let us know.
Yes.
And we'll get back to it. We'd like to see your opinions. So there we go. That was the top 5.
Top 5.
So then,
On Razor Ramon Scott Hall special.
well, since I found out that we were doing a little Razor Ramon special, guess where I went?
Up in the loft!
Up in the loft, up in the loft, up in the loft.
Oh, and what did you find in the loft?
Right, so, well, I found a match, obviously. We'll get to that in a minute. But what I did find was a VHS, and on that VHS,
That's porn.
no, not that tape. You need to give me that tape back, by the way.
It's George who mistaken me.
Just got everyone. Some old adverts. And on the old advert, can you remember the tango advert? With the tango man? And he'd give you a good old slap. Like this, like that. Had that on. So while we're on the subject of slaps, What do you make of Will Smith's slap to Chris Rock?
It was rubbish. I'm not convinced. I know you said it was real, and I get the way he lost his right, but if it was my wife and the upset, I was upset at that as much as that, he wouldn't be getting a slap, he'd get a good smack punch in the mush, he'd be getting knocked clean out.
Alright.
So why did he do that?
It's Oscars, isn't it?
So you're not real.
I think it was real. I do think it was real. But you can't do that at the Oscars, man. It's not like he's down the pub or in the street.
And I know, like, obviously she's got alopecia, and it might be a touchy subject because it's early days with that diagnosis. So, I mean, she wasn't impressed at all from when it happened.
And he laughed.
He sort of smirked, but he smirks as he walks back from giving him the little slap. I mean, it's like a pure clip. I've probably slapped me mum for other than that.
I went to FIFA as mum. Much love.
Yeah.
I just went right. I didn't like him anymore. I used to love Big Willie, like.
They're a family that's out in the public though, really. They do a lot. I like her, me. I used to like her. A lot of acting. Have you seen the film Set It Off with her in?
No.
One of my favourite films. If you haven't seen Set It Off, watch it. It's class.
No,
It's got Queen Latifah in it and her. And it's like 90s sort of gangster, like I'm saying gangster. The girls from the hood who got the money and saved up banks.
Because she went out with Tupac. You know that?
Turn Tupac. I know this. Of course I know this. So her and Tupac, they were from the same like sort of neighbourhood, and they went to the same acting school, and they became really, really good friends, and then obviously they became
Got it on.
yeah, and then obviously after that they drifted apart, and they always stayed really good friends, and Will Smith didn't like that because they were together when Tupac was still alive, and I don't think he liked that at that time. I love Tupac, mate.
It's great Tupac, mate. But they're a funny family. They had an open relationship, supposedly, which Will Smith endorsed. You wouldn't do that.
No. What?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
I said, keep my wife's name out your goddamn mouth! Is that what he says? Goddamn.
It's funny, mate. It's for me. What a better end, man. Can't get on, mate.
Hey.
Yeah, right. So, moving on. I have found... Right. A little bit of controversy, but this is just purely my opinion. This is, in my opinion, the better ladder match. HBK, Razor Ramon, SummerSlam 1995.
Yeah.
Second
one.
ladder match. So the first one was Mania 10 in 1994. This is the second one. Oh, it was great. Now, for the sake of the viewers here, because of copyright, it is heavily edited, but you will get the general gist. This is a great match. If you haven't seen it in a while, it is brilliant. Just, you forget how good Razor Ramon was. He's quick. Look at that, man. I loved it when he did that. Oh!
So many of those, man.
Two of the best.
Class.
In the prime year now, like. Right, then he's not. Shawn Michaels got better, to be fair. But,
for a big guy in a match like this, in the ladder match, you don't really see them in the ladder matches, big guys like him.
really? Not anymore. So many things nearly go wrong. I think that's why I like it. Feet getting caught.
Razor's edge. Oh! that must be meant to happen, surely.
Oh, it was meant to be. There you go.
So that was 1-1. Because Razor won the first one, didn't he?
Aye, and that was the second one. Aye.
The second ever ladder match. And it looks so recent.
It's so
The
fluid, man.
wrestling in it is really good.
Shows how good and quick he was.
Aye.
I forgot, because a lot of matches you saw with Razor Ramon, he was just beating people down.
Aye.
When you fight Shawn Michaels there, you used to see how quick and agile he is and
Really good.
how good of a performer he was, man.
That was really good. I think I'll watch that full thing on the network.
That's great. I forgot about it. I was
Aye.
like, oh, yes. And I always thought, when I first watched it, that was the better out of the two ladder matches. And I stand by it.
And I'm going to watch them both. I think I'll go watch them both and we'll review this.
Review. Well, and I always thought Shawn Michaels won the first one.
I know, I think
Let's watch it.
I
And then I watched it, I was like, oh,
thought
it'd been Quantum Leap.
Quantum Leap. Oh, they're remaking that. Quantum Leap.
Who's Sam?
I don't know. I don't know if he's in it or not. The guy who played him.
Oh, so is it like a reboot? Interesting to say that. Right, so there we go. That was your Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon tribute episode.
Yes, it was indeed.
That.
And God rest his soul. We appreciate you. Until the next time, keep it sweet.
Keep it sweet.
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
It's just ironic that we do that as well.
Now you know.